It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on this Monday morning, the 3rd day of May, and it's being brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, First Southern Bank, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, and O'Quinn & Associates Country Financial.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
When it comes to growing a family business, we understand the business of growing. At First Southern Bank, we've been meeting the needs of South Georgia farmers for over 100 years with competitive ag loan rates, including equipment loans, farmland loans, and lines of credit. First Southern Bank has all the banking tools you need to help keep your growing business growing. First Southern Bank. Investing in you since 1907. For loan rates and more, visit FirstSouthernGA.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup. Dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.
Most people understand the need for life insurance, but not many want to talk about why it's essential to your financial plan. It may seem intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. Don't get overwhelmed. Get started with Country Financial. Call me, Sean O'Quinn, today at 588-1051 and let me work with you to find life insurance that gives you the protection you need at a price you can afford.
Life insurance policies issued by Country Life Insurance Company and Country Investors Life Assurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
And the world-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup, 6 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Monday morning, 3rd day of May. And, Bob, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Did you have a good weekend?
Had a good weekend.
Had a good weekend?
Yep.
Weather was beautiful?
Yeah, played golf, went to a wedding, had a good time.
All right.
Good weekend.
Sounds good. Well, we got a big day here in Jessup and Wayne County. We got the second round of state playoff action. So, Bob, take it away.
The good news is I want to thank Lamar Eccles for canceling all the Rick games so everybody can concentrate on coming to Howard Bell Warrenfield. So, appreciate that. Always good to see everybody on the same page. But, again, 4 o'clock is the time. I'm going to talk about that before I get to Coach McDonald because he's not allowed to talk about this because he'll get in trouble. But
we'll turn the coach's mic off here.
The GHSA is a dictatorship because when they first tried to set up the time for this game today, the coach for North Side Columbus wanted to play at 1 o'clock. Well, of course, we want the home field advantage with the home crowd, so we didn't want to play at 1 o'clock. He informed us that we don't make that decision. The GHSA makes that decision.
Yeah, they take over in playoffs.
So, sure enough, that was what was told to us as well, but then we had to explain to them the situation at James E. Bacon Elementary, that traffic jam that's going to take place around 3:30 when they get out of school, and ask the GHSA if they want to be liable for some kid getting hit by a car. So they because
they have to line up right there next to the baseball field to pick up their kids.
So they have no idea what's going on down here. So luckily we're playing at 4. We would have rather played at 4:30, but they have dictated tomorrow's game, if game, at 2 o'clock. So hopefully there won't be an if game, but. Again, tomorrow's the legislative luncheon, and Bill Workhouse is already on board trying to do away with the GHSA, and Blake Tillery has been involved as well. So we'll just
Bob's working on that. Huh?
We'll just pump them up tomorrow and see if we can't change all this foolishness. But where there's a will, there's a way. But anyway, the good news is we're playing here at home. We're playing Northside Columbus. Again, Coach, you mentioned in the interview, we're just concentrating on us, trying to be a better version of us. But everybody's just questioning, what do we know about this Northside Columbus team? They come from a pretty good region. Looking at the bracket, there are 16 teams left. 3 of our 4 teams have advanced to the Sweet 16. All 4 of their region teams have advanced to the Sweet 16. So they got McIntosh, the number 4 team, at Ware County today. McIntosh defeated Woodward Academy. Also, Stars Mill, we're familiar with them. They're the number 1 team from that Region 2. The 3 seed from Region 2 is, the 2 team from Region 2 is Harris County. And then, of course, Northside Columbus is coming here. So what do we know about Northside Columbus besides the fact that their nickname is the Patriots?
Well, they did win a 4A state title in 2019, so they have had a lot of success in the playoffs. And Coach Garner was at Troup County when we played them, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago in the second round. And this is his first season at Northside, so I'm sure it's going to take him some time to get his philosophy and his ways of doing things put in there. But again, when you get to the second round, pretty much everybody's there because they're doing something right and they have a chance to win. But again, as I've told you, we kind of seem to have to worry about ourselves more than anybody else. I think today is one of those that if we beat ourselves, then we'll lose. But if we play the way we've been playing, I think we got a good shot to win. But I know they're going to come in. They got a big catcher, last name O'Neal, going to Georgia State, big left-handed hitter. He's probably, to me, their best player just from talking. But again, that's one guy that you got to kind of go around or go after. So again, we just need to worry about us and get out there and set the tempo early and have a huge crowd to kind of get the energy going in the entire place today.
Yeah, hopefully people get off a little bit early, come at 4 o'clock. Drove by there. People are already putting their chairs on that first base side, so that's a good sign. But again, as we mentioned, we're playing extremely good baseball. Jones County, I tell people they had a good baseball team. Our pitching just shut them down, and plus we hit the ball. 4 home runs. Ray Townsend had his first 2 home runs. Miles Starling had his first home run. Luke Boykin hit his 13th home run of the year. But there was hitting up and down the lineup, a lot of extra base hits. And a lot of players had great days at the plate. So hopefully that's contagious. I was out there yesterday watching batting practice. They look like they're ready to go. It's funny, we talk about this senior leading baseball team. It's 9 seniors in every year, in the past years. I talk about how that senioritis kind of creeps in, but talking to those seniors yesterday, I don't see anything but them focused on the grand prize that's winning the state title. These guys seem really focused about the baseball right now.
They are, and going back when that group, a lot of those kids played at Martha Puckett, and they played for a championship, and then, when you combine the 2 schools and you get them together and that's been a good class ever since freshman. I know I think there was over 15 of them in the freshman class, and now there's 9 that continue through it and finished up with it. But, I think that is a close group, and, I know the underclassmen lean on them for leadership, and, that's not always the case, and especially in high school. Sometimes they become seniors and they kind of get away from the stuff they did as freshmen and sophomores and kind of lean towards relying on somebody else to do it. But no, they continue to do everything they've done as underclassmen, and that's a big reason why we are where we are.
The game plan worked to perfection last week. Tyler goes out and wins game 1. Ray goes out and pitches game 2. You only had to pitch one other pitcher. I think Zach closed out game 2, but I'm sure that probably won't stay true throughout the entire playoffs. But the good news is you got a lot of arms in that bullpen, a lot of guys you can rely on.
We do, and I think it was Friday of last week we did some live bullpens, and with some guys that are on the bench that aren't seeing a lot of live pitching that may have to come in and get at bats. They got 3 or 4 at bats through that day at practice, and it was good. There's some underclassmen that hadn't thrown in a varsity game that look real good and may get the opportunity if the time comes to get in there. There's always that one hidden surprise that happens in playoff time that nobody really knows, and then we put him out there and then it jumps out. So again, there's still one of those in the dugout somewhere. So we're going to continue to get better each day and get ready to go today.
You've been coaching a long time. I've been broadcasting a long time. How good is Luke Boykin? I mean, he may be one of the best I've seen ever come through Wayne County High School.
He's a good player. The one thing that kind of sets him apart is it's not just the baseball part. It's his personality, the way he goes about his business, and even as the academic is extremely important to him and his family, and you can tell he takes pride in that. He's had to miss some early part of practices because of making sure he gets his school stuff, academics done. So again, that's what we want. We go God family, school, baseball is kind of the priority. So, that's something that I know he prides himself on, and he's as humble as they get too. You wouldn't know it, but also I know there's a lot of guys that are feeding on him, and you throw in some of those seniors that are getting after it real good, and it's just a good mix of kids right now, and obviously him at the top of the lineup setting the table, I think that's important, because there's been times this year where he's taken one swing and we're up 1-0, and there's only been one pitch thrown in the game, so that's a huge factor to have that on your team.
His 13 home runs kind of overshadows everything else he's done. He's hitting close to 500, leads the team in hits and runs. How many runs? RBIs. He's just having a phenomenal year. He's got to be up there, not just region player of the year, possibly state player of the year.
Yeah, he does. I know he'll get some nominations for All-State and that type of stuff, but and the one thing that I would say, you never hear him talk about it. He just comes to the field. He's got a routine of what he does at practice, or how he gets ready to practice, how he gets ready for games. I think he takes the same rounds of BP in the cage before every game, and I don't say a lot to him on game days. Just let him go out there and play. That's with all our guys. At the end of the day, the work's been done. Now it's time. As I said, I get the best seat to sit in the dugout and watch these guys play today and see what they do next.
Yeah, hopefully they'll have another good game today, Northside Columbus. But again, we mentioned it all goes up the middle. You got a great double play combination with Blake Brockington, who's having a phenomenal year short, and Aiden Hall at second, and then Luke in center, and then your catcher, can't talk enough about how he's been tough as nails back there, Jacob Brewer. There's no telling how many runs he saves by blocking the ball time and time again, throwing people out. They picked a couple of people off last time against Jones County. So, how important is that catcher for you?
Oh, it's very important. He's kind of the I guess you say. A lot of people compare it to the quarterback on the football field. He's the one guy, especially when the ball's hit. He's the one guy that can see everything, and he has to make the right calls on where the ball needs to go, and obviously he has to be the relay guy from Coach Brown into the pitcher and make sure he gets that stuff right. And he's done it all year, and he continues to keep the ball in front. And when he gets a chance to throw people out, he does. And I'm just proud of him. And then you work up the middle. I think Blake Brockington. If you look at the numbers of what he's done defensively at shortstop, especially with the caliber of teams this play, it's very impressive. And he makes some stuff look very easy that's not real easy. A lot of people will call some of the things he does routine, but they're not routine. I know he made a couple plays last week that were just, they're not routine, but he makes them look routine. So, again, and he's playing well offensively. You move over with second, that the middle infield is solid, and there's some stuff that those guys do in games, and that I kind of sit back and say how they just do that. I know the one ball to start that game, I only know how Aiden got to it and it hit his glove. I'm talking about he had to run a substantial amount. I know Palmer thought he had caught the ball, so he was telling him good job, and then looked up and the ball was on the ground. And again, another senior on the mound worked out of that situation to get out of it. And then you got Luke cruising around in the outfield again, making stuff look easy. But that's important to have. But also on the corners and in the corner outfield spots, there's been guys that have been consistent in doing what they do all year. And that's the good thing about this team. It's not hard to kind of put the pieces together, and this is not the lineup we had in the first week of the season. It's not the lineup we had in the second week. It took some time to get it put together, but now it's put together, and they're feeding off each other, and there's guys in the dugout that understand their role and are ready when their name's called.
And your corner players are playing well too. Zach Thomas done a great job. He's having a phenomenal year as well, and then got Miles. After that surgery, he came back. He's really provided some offensive punch plus some defensive. First base, he's playing a great defense first base for you.
Yeah, he is, and that's one of the bright spots of him being able to, especially play that position when Dennison and Ray, both of them were first basemen early in the year, and Ray moves to the outfield in some certain situations. But again, it also allows you to, especially in a doubleheader setting, to be able to DH your game 2 starter, so he's not out there getting after it on the field in game 1, so it kind of works to our advantage on that. But again, Miles has been outstanding. There's some stuff he's done defensively too that's not routine either, and Zach's the same way. And in the outfield, Jack Perkins probably, he's become a above average great high school outfielder. He makes the routine play every time, and then he'll go make some plays that a lot of high school outfielders won't make, and then he's been consistent in the lineup. You know, I don't know. I think there was a time there where he had a hit in about 10 or 15 games in a row where it was kind of going silent there in the bottom of the lineup. And, you know, I think one impressive thing with him is when he puts the ball in play, watching him get out of the box. You know, it's all out 100%. And, you know, that's kind of the expectation and the mindset of this team is don't look back and say that you didn't do something 100% that you could have controlled. And I think that's what they've been doing to get us to this point.
You got a lot of role players. You know, Palmer Lamb's done a great job for you in right field. He's just a freshman. Jackson Dolan, can't say enough about him. What he's done, he comes in and plays third when you need it, but he can play several positions. But like I said, everybody in that dugout's got a role.
They do.
You know, you've been using just about everybody. We talk about the pitching. You know, Brad O'Reilly's had a great year. You know, Asher Cathy's done a great job when he's been on the mound. Austin, you know, you just go all the way through the roster. Everybody's contributing, so that's what makes it fun. Everybody's in that dugout, part of the team, and hopefully we can get to the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, we lost that coin flip. I see we're Blessed Trinity. If they win, we got to head up there. Is it still set for this Saturday? I mean, that's another GHSA brain. I can't understand who would schedule. I mean, it's a Saturday, Monday. So the question is, if we do have to go to Blessed Trinity on that Saturday and we do split, does Wayne County find motel rooms and stay Saturday night and stay Sunday and plays Monday, or do they come all the way back after Saturday doubleheader and go back Monday? Or have you thought that far ahead? Or
I hadn't really. You know, I'm kind of.
We just have to pray St. Pius Wednesday they come here,
well,
right?
That's the first thing. Just hope that they pull it off. But I do know, you know, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday in Atlanta, it's 90% chance of rain all 3 days. So I'm not even sure that they're going to be able to get their games in over the next 2 days. So
I see.
You know, they may get pushed back, and
so
you know,
dates could change.
Dates could change. Hopefully, you know, I know everything's locked in based on the state championship dates and the sites, but you know, hopefully, you know, for the safety of the kids, if don't make teams have a quick turnaround. As far as I know, we've been big on pitch count in high school baseball in Georgia, so you know, you can't have a series on a Thursday and expect somebody to turn around and play on Saturday and then be able to say, well, we've got the safety of the kids in mind. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to have a little bit of some talks with, maybe talks with coaches. You know, that's one thing that, and I will say that, you know, we're invested in this as a high school coach, and our whole staff is across the state. Every staff is, and you know, at some point when it directly affecting your program and the way you feed your family, you know, you should have a say in it. And you know, not right now, there's not a lot that we get to say, and you know, maybe that's something where everybody can get to a table and kind of hash some of this stuff out.
And that's the frustration. They're nowhere to be found during the regular season. But then when state playoffs begin, it's like the dictatorship begins. They're dictating times. They're dictating everything, cost to get in, things like that. But I'd like to know what their mindset was for a Saturday, Monday situation. I mean, why not a Friday, Saturday, not a Monday, Tuesday? Why would you split up Saturday and Monday, Mother's Day weekend?
Mother's Day weekend.
I mean, that just seems kind of strange to me. But
SAT Saturday, there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend, but you know, again, if they tell us we got to play at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, we're going to load up and get ready to play. That's just part of it. But again, you know, we need to worry about today and then go to that next problem if we need to.
Well, it's funny, you look at this bracket, 16 teams left, but it's the same cast of characters: Cartersville, Loganville, Starrs Mill, Wayne County. I mean, it's the same teams. Every Ola, you know, we're familiar with them as well. So, got any idea how these other brackets are going to shape up? I mean,
I don't. You know,
what's going to be interesting is North Springs, Loganville. Loganville's always got the pitching, but looking at North Springs scores, they're scoring double-digit runs every time they play. So something's got to give in that series. Either the pitching from Loganville is going to win out, or the hitting in North Springs is going to win out. So that'll be a fun series to watch.
I think Ware County has a good shot to move on. I think they
against McIntosh.
Yeah, I think they might be playing some of the best baseball they've ever played there since I've been in Wayne County right now. You know, they believing in what they're doing now, and you know, going, especially having 2 series at home back to back. You know, they got a break with Woolver getting beat by McIntosh and being able to host a second round. So I know that's important for them and their program, but we'll be pulling for them as well as Coffee. You know, I think sometimes our region may have got underlooked about how tough it might have been, because you know, our kids kind of went through it without a hiccup. And
I've been trying to tell people our pitching just made those teams look bad. I mean, we just dominated. I mean, you think about the performance that Zach Thomas gave up in Douglas. I mean, without the infield hitters, he's got a no-hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Dennison, Ray. I mean, our pitching was just so dominant it made the other teams in the region look like they weren't very good. But like you said, they're pretty good.
4 pitchers in those 3 games.
Right.
And it was.
Well, we've got a couple of text messages that people have sent in. You can always text in questions or comments to our main business line. You can text in 912-427-3711. This person wants to make sure they heard right. The Wayne County Recreation Games are canceled for today. Is that correct,
That's
Bob?
correct. Right. Spec was called early this morning to make sure we get that announcement. And all games at the rec field have been canceled due to everybody going to the game at Howard Bell Warren Field.
So everybody go to the Bow and no rec games today. And then let's see here. Let's see what else we got here. Somebody wants to know what time can we set up chairs at the Bow. Already went this morning. All gates are locked, which they do understand. Coach?
There should be some maintenance guys going around there and doing some work. So I would say later this morning there'll probably be at least one gate open at some point. You know, obviously I'm going to shoot by there on my way, so I'll probably mention it to the maintenance guys. I know it's important. I know I got my wife's chair out, and then I'm going to go save my parents a spot up in the bleachers where they like to seat. So I'm going to do it so everybody else should be able to do it.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. If you do it, everybody else can.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, somebody
all right, so go, just folk, whoever it was, just check back soon, and the gates will be open.
So how excited are the kids? You know, I saw them at practice yesterday. They seem to be excited, seem to be focused. Like I said, chance to get to the Elite Eight, which not many teams get to do. But if they pull this off today, that's where they're headed. So, like I said, then it just decides on who wins between Blessed Trinity and St. Pius. So, but you looked at state rankings all year long. Blessed Trinity's been ranked number 1 all season long. We've been in the top 5 most of the year. You know, Cartersville, Loganville, they're always in there, along with Starsmill. Those are basically the top 5 in the state. What do we know about this Greenbrier team? I keep looking at their scores from Region 8. I mean, they beat Northview 15-1 and 9-zip. So they look like the sleeper on that left side of the bracket there.
Yeah, they out of the Loganville region, so them and Loganville kind of battled it out for the region title. Then
Greenbrier beat them.
Yeah, and then Loganville slipped up and lost to the east side. That kind of separated them of the two. I think Loganville beat Greenbrier 2-1, and Greenbrier beat Loganville 2-1. So kind of, I think there were a lot of equal teams, and we talked to our kid. We just got to be better today. We don't have to be better than them Wednesday or yesterday. We just need to be better than Northside today. So
I tell people all the time, when you get to those playoffs, you don't have to be the best team. You just have to be the best team that day. So whoever comes out and plays the best today is going to wind up going on to the Elite Eight. So hopefully, if Northside Columbus is coming today, they come last night. Do you have any idea?
I don't know. Through the game time, there was some talk of them coming yesterday, and then some coming today. So I'm not real sure. I'm sure they'll get to the field around 2:30 somewhere in there. But the one thing about our kids, I don't. It's we kind of talk about the expectations of our program. The second round is something that we hadn't got past since 17. That's kind of been the stopping point in 18, 19, and or we didn't have 20. So in 18 and 19, I think we lost Thomas County Central and then Ola. So we hadn't got into the Elite Eight since 17. So I think our kids understand that, but they don't. Just watching them practice and watching how they'll come into the locker room today, it's just like it's another game to them. They're playing with some of the best guys they love being around, and it's a relaxed feeling, and every one of them's got their routine of how they get ready and go about their business. So we just make sure they're ready at 4:00.
Any concern about the heat today? Because the temperatures, I think, are expected to be up in the 90s.
About 90 today.
Yeah.
92 tomorrow.
We've been preaching hydrating and, making sure they're getting their rest. That was some of the reasons of, after Wednesday, they had Thursday completely off. And then, our practices over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they've been less than 2 hours. You can get out there and try to do stuff. And, if we hadn't put in what we needed to put in by now and just fine-tuning it at practice, and we've done a poor job as a coaching staff. So, again, I've heard from my mindset on practice, if you practice more than 2 hours, you don't organize. So we don't go longer than 2 hours. And, the stuff that takes longer at practice is getting the field picked up, getting the locker room cleaned, and that stuff. But the practice time is kind of 2 or less, and that's what it's been the last 3 days.
All right, someone just texted in and says, "Good luck, Coach. We are proud to be a Jacket and have you leading our kids. Hashtag #1 Small Town USA."
Well, I appreciate it.
Okay.
One thing I did hear about Northside Columbus, they do like to bunt and run, things like that. So I know that's something that we've had a little difficulty this season with the bunt. So I'm sure we got better as the season went on. So we prepare for that.
Yeah, we pounded that the last 3 days. Some point, some fashion of it each practice, and I think our guys have done a good job of getting better. I think we lost a game early in the year against Richmond Hill on a bunt play, throwing one away. But, those guys that were involved in that, they made a mindset to get better. And, the one thing about this team, though, the way they play offensively, and, hopefully they continue to do it. When you score runs and you score them in bunches, you kind of take people out of their element where they're not able to run or put pressure on you by bunting. They're having to play catch up and try to wait and get multiple hits in a row, which has been tough against our staff the way they've been throwing.
But one thing we want to stress to the people listening, like I said, the big crowd does have an impact on the game. Like I said, this coach from Northside Columbus, as you mentioned, he was at Troup County.
Yeah. And
the reason he was urging to get this game moved up to 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock because he knows what kind of crowd's coming, and he knows what kind of effect it had on his Troup County team when they came to Howard Bowl Warren Field years ago. So hopefully the 4 o'clock time won't change much. Hopefully we can get people in the stands. I tell you, I want to thank the student body. The last series, they really showed up in full force, and they made a lot of noise. And it was good to see the student body in the stands last week. So hopefully they'll show up again today.
Yeah, it is a factor. Again, and I've said this over and over. It's not like this everywhere, and that's what makes this place so special for athletics. Is regardless of what's going on in the world or what's going on in the country, the one thing about Wayne County is when high school athletics happen, it gives everybody something to come together for. And, I think our kids and our program kind of pride themselves on that, giving everybody something to come together at and have one common goal among everybody and everybody pulling in the same direction. And, I think it's a big factor. I know there's already a lot of signs hung off the football bleachers today. And, that our kids, I know our kids understand the importance of what this does to our community, and they understand that what we do today is going to dictate how somebody goes to work tomorrow and how they feel. And, there's not a lot of high school programs that have that kind of mentality and those expectations from. And, we wouldn't want it any other way. But, again, we want to fill that place up and get a lot of energy going. And, again, the student section was I'm talking about it was awesome last week, and I know it's only going to get better this week.
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement. Like I said, only 16 teams left in 5A baseball. Wayne County, one of them, taking on Northside Columbus. I don't ever remember playing Northside Columbus. I mean, my experiences in Columbus against Columbus High School have not been good because everybody knows that 84 trip up there with Bubba Hall and Frank Thomas, and there was another trip we went up there, played a quarterfinal game when Mark Townsend pitched a great game, went 10 innings, and it was 0-0, but we lost 1-0 up there. So, again, the trips to Columbus haven't been fun. So, hopefully the trip from Northside Columbus down here won't be fun for those guys. So, hopefully we can put 2 W's on there and get on to the next round.
I know, they were up there one year and we went to the little Georgia Peach tournament. They were playing, I think it was the year of 19 when they won the state title. They were playing in the game after us at Loganville, and obviously they went on and won a 4A state title. But again, you got to play, you got to be ready to play, and take it one game at a time, and set the tone with the first pitch today. Let it be strike one or let it be an out, and go from there.
Yep. Again, we'll be the home team in the first game. Of course, they'll be the home team in the second game, and then if it goes to game 3, we're the home team tomorrow. And again, tomorrow. Again, if it does go to a third game, the time has been set by GHSA at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully we can avoid that. Get the sweep, move on to the Elite 8, and get ready for either Blessed Trinity or St. Pius. Again, looking at the bracket of St. Pius, were to upset Blessed Trinity, they'd come here for the third round. If Blessed Trinity won and Wayne County won, they're both a 1 seed. We lost a coin flip. It's a universal coin flip by the GHSA. We'd have to hit the Blessed Trinity for round 3. But again, if we got to round 4 and played Loganville, I'm already looking ahead, Coach. The Final 4 would be here in Wayne County, Howard Bowl Warren Field against Loganville. That would be so much fun because we made some trips to Loganville, but Loganville hasn't made a trip to Wayne County. So I'm hoping Loganville gets a bus trip to Wayne County for that Final Four, because I can imagine what kind of crowd that's going to be. They still talk about the crowd we took down to Savannah. Yeah, so they'll see another big crowd if they come here for the Final Four. But, again, appreciate you coming in. I'll get you back to school. But, again, the gates will be open soon. You can line those chairs up, and we're just hoping everybody can come at 4 o'clock. Again, a reminder that great games tonight at Billmore Park have been canceled, so there's no conflict there. So everybody should be able to come out to the ballpark and watch some good baseball.
Yeah, I know my wife, John Carson, had a T-ball game today, so that kind of alleviates some of those. I appreciate that, Spec.
Yeah, so you don't have that conflict. That's good.
Thank you, Spec. All right. World-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. And the show brought to you by, we're through, Bob. Okay. By Murphy Builder Supply, First Southern Bank, and also brought to you by Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings and O'Quinn Associates, Sean O'Quinn.